Welcome, everyone. We are going to get started in about 1 minute. We just want to give it a couple more minutes. So thanks again for joining, and we will get started in just a couple minutes. So I think maybe we should get started since we have a packed agenda. We good with that, everyone? Thumbs up? Awesome. Well, first of all, welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on today's webinar, Migrating from Informatica PowerCenter to Databricks with TransformX. Today's session is really more than just modernization. It's about reclaiming agility, unlocking AI innovation, and eliminating the roadblocks that legacy ETL platforms like Informatica PowerCenter continue to create. I'm Kristen Kolepsky. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer at Nucleus Tech and NuoData. And we're thrilled to co-host this webinar with our partners at Databricks, a leader in data and AI innovation. If we can go to the next slide, AV. So as you can see, we have a fast-paced and insight-packed agenda for you today. We're going to be exploring the critical role of modern data infrastructure in the Gen AI era, why legacy ETL tools are holding enterprises back, how Databricks is redefining what's possible with a unified platform, common pitfalls in PowerCenter migrations and how to avoid them, and most importantly, how NuoData TransformX delivers automation at scale to help you migrate faster, cheaper, and smarter. We hope you'll walk away, and we're confident that you will, with real-world insights, proven strategies, and a clear path to accelerate your own migration. We'll also be including for all attendees a free Data Migration Readiness Assessment with NuoData Genie to really help you take action right away. A few quick notes before we jump in. We really want this to be interactive, so please use the Q&A box. We're going to try to answer questions in real time throughout the session. If we don't, we will definitely have time at the end. So please drop in those questions if you come up with them throughout the conversation. And then, yes, today's session is going to be recorded, and so we will definitely be sharing the recording after. If you want to go to the next slide with that, I'd love to turn it over to my esteemed colleague, Anand, or as many of you know him as AV, to kick things off. So AV, over to you.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you very much, Kristen. Bright and energetic introduction, suitable to the topic, and so good to have my co-speakers here, Vipul Gupta from Nucleus Tech and NuoData, and Nikhil Gupta from Databricks, Partner Solution Architect, one of our very strong supporters and guides in this whole process of building out this particular solution we're going to show you today. Wherever you are joining and whatever time zone it is, really greetings to you and thank you for being here. Thank you for your attention. And if you're listening to this as a recording, again, thank you. So my name is Anand Venugopal, or AV, and I'm the Vice President of Global Product Strategy and Go-to-Market at NuoData. And a little bit about who we are first. Nucleus Tech is the parent company that is hosting this. It's a global digital services and consulting services organization specialized in data and AI. We have about 400 people strong in headcount. We're in multiple cities in India. We're headquartered here in Phoenix, Arizona, and of course do business in all parts of North America. Vipul is joining us from Canada, and of course Nikhil is joining us from New Jersey, and Kristen is in Phoenix. And I'm joining him from San Jose in the Bay Area. It's great to have our partner Databricks here. And as you can see, our partners Databricks and all the major cloud vendors are strongly partnered with us. And we are working with numerous Fortune 10, Fortune 100 companies, as you can see in the banner below. American Express, Salesforce, PetSmart. We've done a lot of business in terms of specifically on data and AI with all of these companies. NuoData was conceptualized as a data modernization and management platform by the people at Nucleus Tech, having exposure to customer problems and the needed solutions, right? And we've evolved it from a modernization platform to a migration modernization platform to a complete data management and AI fabric. But we're showcasing today the capability of NuoData in specifically solving ETL migration from legacy ETL like Informatica PowerCenter over to a modern platform. And what better modern platform for data than Databricks, right? That's what we're going to be showcasing. And we'll obviously address the why of it, and the what of it and the how of it, right? So moving on, AI is here big time, right? Everybody is deploying AI, testing it out, or moving into bigger and bigger scale in terms of deployments, going from one experimental use case to a few to probably a little bit of a departmental type use case. That is inevitable. That is in high growth mode, and it's impacting all different use cases, impacting our daily life, right? And if you look at numbers, expected AI market growth is $1.81 trillion all the way going up to 2030, and 85% companies have already started implementing and to implement AI agents by 2025. So why all of this is significant is that AI consumes a lot of data, right? The enterprise AI is going to be based on deploying LLMs and then of course agents that talk to LLMs. But the training data, the tuning, the RAG, all of that is going to come from enterprise data sources within your enterprise. I don't know if there's going to be many folks that are really going to just do external calls. There's going to be a lot of enterprise AI deployments within. But in any case, it is your data that enriches your AI and makes your AI useful and valuable for internal applications, internal users, as well as external users, such as your customers. So what is it that makes the AI valuable? It is the integrity and promptness, the freshness, the accuracy of your data, right? So let's look at that for a minute. I mean, there's still a lot of legacy systems out there in enterprise AI landscape, enterprise data landscapes that are holding things back, right? And you may be, happy with what's happening right now, but there are so many invisible costs. There's opportunity cost that is preventing you from moving forward in terms of innovation. So global spending on legacy system maintenance is $2.5 trillion. So there's still a lot of spend going on to just. And if you notice, we're only looking at in this slide is just one element. It's called cost. But the real cost is the opportunity cost of not being able to deploy your AI use cases fast enough, the flexibility of the data feeds, and the different data formats, scale that you need, and flexibility that you need for driving your AI pipelines is simply not there with these legacy systems that were built for a generation of technology before this, right? It was built for just databases, data warehouses, etc. And we have now quickly moved to a very, very dominant position of unstructured data, hybrid data feeds, and you really have to leverage all the external data, all the internal data you have. So these systems just do not, hold up. We want to hear from you instead of speculating or saying these things. What do you feel? Where are you? So if you don't mind, Kristen, roll out the first poll, please. So how do you feel about your data readiness for large scale AI deployment in your environment, right? A single experimental use case is not what we're talking about. We're talking about you know, for a larger scale deployment in your environment, how do you feel you're prepared? Is it well prepared, or do you have a lot more work to go? Answers are coming in. It's what we expected. It is about 92% of attendees are saying it's a lot more work to do. Just, a couple of you are saying, we're well prepared, right? So congratulations on the people who are well prepared, but most of you are definitely out where we expect you to be, or we think you are, which is it is a lot more work to do, right? So with that feedback, let's just move forward. what specifically are we talking about here when we say legacy systems, right? The focus of this webinar is one of those legacy systems called Informatica PowerCenter, right? It's an on-prem based ETL system. It's served customers well for a while. But what we're beginning to see is that the barrier to AI, so the entire AI advent is being held back with chains with legacy Informatica and the amount of cost and complexity that it's sucking up. What are the specific practical, issues, right? If you are feeding AI models, training them, etc., you need data pipelines that bear scale. That both the volume, all of the three V's, the volume, the velocity, and the variety of data going in, is just breaking these systems. Customers are telling us they're not able to scale their pipelines that are going towards their AI models, and it's getting stuck at these ETL systems, and Informatica PowerCenter being one of them. The other element here is that customers are being sort of held hostage to legacy Informatica PowerCenter because there's no way out. They're being told to upgrade to Informatica Cloud, or you're out of luck. There's no way out. If you want to take data from this platform over to connect it to Snowflake, Databricks, and AWS, etc., customers are not being given a way out. And a lot of our customers are focused on, especially with AI, Databricks is one of the most premier platforms here, and that's who's our partner here today. It's just hard for people to move data from on-prem systems to Databricks if they're stuck with PowerCenter in the middle, right? So you really need a way to modernize, and there are other issues as well. Data quality issues. So if you force a bunch of data through pipelines that are not rock solid and ready for that level of volume, velocity, and variety, you end up with broken pipelines, you end up with restarts, you end up with inconsistent data that creates a lot of data quality issues. So 46% of data quality issues stem from flaws in legacy ETL processes, and data quality is what impacts the quality of AI, right? Data in, data out, garbage in, garbage out. So the AI prompt responses that are going to come out are going to be based on bad quality data if this is not fixed. It's one of those issues that you have with legacy ETL systems, right? The other issue is observability, right? 53% of organizations lack visibility into their data movement. And, IT system observability is one layer, but data observability is a completely new layer. And data observability is a very widely acknowledged challenge that people are dealing with. And again, with legacy ETL systems that were designed for not the cloud era, like PowerCenter, Informatica PowerCenter, the observability is simply not there. The lineage observability, how the data is flowing from data systems, all of that is completely not available. So you really need to modernize to get that, right? So, if you want to transform this for the future, you really need to overcome your legacy data silos and accelerate AI adoption. Of course, now the subject of today's discussion is like focus on Databricks and how you can take these PowerCenter ETL workloads and actually make them, workloads on top of Databricks. But we'll give you an introduction of Databricks first. But even before that, we have another quick poll for you. What do you still have Informatica or other traditional ETL systems? What is your current status? Your one is yes, it has problems and we plan to migrate to the cloud. No, we've already modernized to the cloud. Third option is yes, and it works well. 75, 80% of you are still saying, yes, we have it and it has problems, and we plan to migrate to the cloud. And a few of you have already modernized. So still the majority is where I think the market is, which is around 80% or more of you are saying, yes, we still have legacy ETL and it has problems and we plan to migrate to the cloud. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your feedback. So we want to be in sync with the reality, right? So that's why not just speculation. We want to be in sync with where you are. Now over to Nikhil for talking about Databricks.
Perfect. Thanks, Avi, and thanks to the whole Nucleus Tech team for inviting me here. So quick overview, Databricks, if you don't know, we are the data and AI company. We are the Gartner leaders in both cloud data management systems and data science and machine learning. With over 2.5 billion in revenue and 10,000 customers. So we are the inventor of, we invented Lakehouse category almost 3 years ago. And right now we are a pioneer in Gen AI applications. So more importantly, I just want to touch base upon how we are innovating on open source. Right, we are a strong proponent of open source systems, and we invented major open source projects like Spark, Delta Lake, MLflow. Unity Catalog, which is our governance solution, was open source last year as well. Moving to the next slide. So I just want to quickly give you a brief overview of what Databricks is and what it does. So our Databricks, our platform is what we call the Databricks Data Intelligence Platform. An idea behind is, the way we work, we talked about Lakehouse, but the idea is you bring any data, right? Be it structured, unstructured data, and you go in and store in your data lake in any of the clouds, right? It could be ADLS on Azure, S3 on AWS or Google Cloud Storage. So you use your cloud storage and store that data in open formats, any of the most more popular open formats like Delta Lake, Iceberg, or even Parquet. So once your data is lands in the cloud, in your cloud storage, in any of these formats, a Unity catalog is what we call the governance layer on top of it, right? So it provides unified governance across your data, your AI models, dashboards, notebooks, etc. So Unity catalog provides that unified governance on all your data estate. And Databricks basically provides you with features to do all your use cases. What I mean by that, for example, you want to do Gen AI use cases. We have what we call Mosaic AI, which has features which allow you to create end-to-end Gen AI applications. If you are looking for warehousing solutions, you're looking for dashboarding and SQL queries, Databricks SQL presents you with features which allows you to do your data warehousing use cases. AI BI intelligence is what we have built intelligence within our system. So users can go in, they can ask questions in natural languages and talk to the data as they're as if they're talking to their data, right? And workflows and DLT, which I'll spend some more time, is basically a data engineering solution which allows you to ingest, ELT, streaming, any of the use cases you can do via workflows and Delta Life tables. On top of it, we are 100% serverless, and things like enterprise security, cost controls, disaster recovery comes built in as well. Yeah, we move to the next one. So I just quickly want to touch base that modern data engineering requires modern data orchestration. This is because I think we can go to the next one. So if you look at it, right, more and more data is being used and the use is becoming more and more sophisticated. And this is basically leading to complexity in data pipelines. And this complexity is rooted in many factors, be it multiple and varied data sources, dependencies between workflows and steps, or multiple use cases, be it ETL, BI, or AI use cases. And all this complexity basically brings forth the need for modern data orchestration. And Databricks Workflows is our orchestration service. We can go to the next one. So Databricks workflows basically is our orchestration on the Databricks platform. And customers love it. And I'll give you the top 3 reasons why customers really love Databricks workflows. So first is simple authoring for all data practitioners. So whether you want to use a UI or you want to use our APIs, you are just a few clicks away from creating your tasks and workflows. The second is, as AV was also mentioning, insights and real-time monitoring. As workflows are integrated with the entire Databricks platform, there is deep observability. You can very quickly drill down to the task level, troubleshoot those errors very quickly, and ensure that data pipelines meet your SLAs. And finally, which is like very important, is proven reliability for production workloads. Like, we are a fully managed service with almost 99.95% uptime. And on top of that, we workflows now comes with serverless compute. With serverless, it's very simple and fast. You don't have to worry about how to tune a cluster. It's very easy to start up for any data practitioner. It's fully managed compute for you. And again, reliability. Serverless presents reliable solution to build your next data pipeline. And finally, it's not, I'm not trying to preach here, but it's like the customers, we are getting a lot of customers across the board, be it large scale enterprises or startups. They are leveraging workflows to create and orchestrate their lakehouse workflows. uh, so yeah, that's all from my end. Over to you, Avi.
Thank you. Thank you, Nikhil. That was a great introduction. And we totally agree on all of these dimensions. Your life as a data engineer or a data scientist or a Gen AI applications developer is going to be completely transformed with Databricks. And specifically, in terms of the subject of today, if you're looking at how you bring in your Informatica PowerCenter mappings and transformations over, that's what we are getting to now, right? So we know that Databricks is a great platform to bring ETL. It's always been one of the strong factors and pivots of anchors of Databricks. I myself was in Databricks for about 3.5 years, from 2018 to 22. So customers are very, very successful, driving ETL. So you can take your PowerCenter workloads and actually move it into Databricks, and that's what we're going to be talking about now. When you try to do that, we also addressed the complexity issues, right? So if you look at making all of those PowerCenter mappings and transformations and workflows come in here, you're going to be dealing with a lot of inflexibility because there's a whole bunch of on-premise integrations that you'll have to take into account while you make that move. Re-architecting them as cloud native data pipelines is going to be a real challenge if it's done completely manually. You really need to put in a whole lot of residual expertise upfront and build an engine that is really, really smart. Doing it manually is just going to be completely very, very complex and slow. And in large environments where there's tens of thousands of mappings, and that many XML files, it's going to be very, very difficult to parse them unless you have a very structured, predefined process that brings in Informatica expertise on one side and Databricks expertise on the other side, right? In terms of data sources and formats, again, there's going to be limitations. So, the manual pathway to do Informatica PowerCenter migrations is going to be riddled with challenges and completely slow down your project. And when you try and get going and putting those new use cases onto Databricks, that's not going to happen for many, many months if you're just completely driven by a manual process, right? So what does that mean? Well, an automated data migration strategy is the key. And an automated data migration strategy may be fairly common these days with data warehouses and Hadoop and things like that. But with Informatica, there's not too many people that know how to do this really well in terms of, a mature platform that really brings a high degree of subject matter expertise and converts that into automation and accuracy. And that is where our solution, NuoData TransformX, comes in, offered by Nucleus Tech as an acceleration tool. Nucleus Tech, of course, the team would come in, use this tool, and drive the entire PowerCenter migration to Databricks. Now, first of all, we're going to do automated conversion of Informatica mappings. It's going to be anywhere from 70 to 90%, automations. Very high degree of automation is being provided. You will see that, firsthand, in a few minutes in our demo. We have a migration analysis tool called NuoData Genie. We're really proud of this thing because, there's a lot of inertia when it comes to, hey, should I even go ahead and do this migration tool? What's it going to cost me? Or migration project, what's it going to cost me? Which are the hard ones? Which are the complex ones? You have a lot of questions about your current estate that we can automatically just run this tool and give you a full report of what your migration is going to look like in terms of full readout of all of your mappings and transformations and what it's going to take in terms of effort to migrate it. We retain the logic of your entire workflow, so you can bring your source data into Databricks on a bronze layer and then completely run the Informatica logic on Databricks, using Databricks Spark Engine. And on the way, if you want to change table names, if you want to change schema, especially for your new modern environment, we will let you do that. And that provision is made in this tool. So overall, including automated validation, you're going to see like 60x faster automated migration and validation compared to a completely manual project, right? It's a very, very powerful tool, and our services team will come in and help you with the whole process and dramatically shrink the time it takes to get you going on your new use cases, especially now with Gen AI consuming so much attention, right? You need to get going with your data fast. If you want a further level of detail, you probably are wondering if you are, especially if you're Informatica experts, we have Vipul who's going to take us through this and the next steps as well. Vipul, over to you.
Thank you, Avi. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all attendees. I am Vipul Gupta, working as technical lead with NuoData. So when it comes to migrating from Informatica PowerCenter to Databricks, it is not just about moving the code. It's about reinterpreting logic, preserving the performance, and ensuring accuracy at scale. This slide walks through the most common issues, challenges that a customer face during migration, and how TransformX address each one of them. Talking about the manual mapping translations, so Informatica mappings requires manual rework to convert them to equivalent PySpark or Spark SQL code. This is slow, error-prone, and not scalable at all. TransformX automates this by parsing the PowerCenter XMLs and directly generating the native Databricks code. Our engine, it is a deterministic engine where we support a wide range of transformations like aggregators, lookups, and many more. The logic equivalence is very important because the key concern during migration is, will the new pipeline behave the same way? And TransformX doesn't just do a syntax level translation, it goes deeper by understanding PowerCenter's logic structure and aiming for a functional equivalence. Reusable logics for the maplets and worklets. So in Informatica, we have maplets and worklets which can be reused to create a modular design. And these are quite tricky to migrate. In TransformX, we identify those reusable components and convert or inline them intelligently into generated Spark code base so that your code doesn't become a spaghetti. Parameter files and dynamic values are heavily used in Informatica. And in TransformX, so we detect and map all the parameters and convert them into standard parameter handling mechanisms, such as widgets, global parameters, or environment-driven variables. sessions, workflows and sessions are commonly used in Informatica. And how do we handle in TransformX is that we translate them into a structure ready for Databricks workflows or any other orchestration tool like Airflow, making it easier to plug into existing job scheduling system. The biggest blocker for many teams is the sheer scale. Migrating hundreds and thousands of maplets and mappings is daunting. TransformX is optimized for scale. With automation rates targeting over 85%, we drastically cut down the need for manual intervention. All in all, it means that anything which could take years or months to complete, we can free up your space and do it in weeks so that your team can focus on testing, tuning, and launching the AI-driven initiative sooner. Talking about our modernization approach, so in TransformX, we follow a 6-step journey from manual process to methodical execution. First of all, we define what you want to do. So this step helps you map your job, like what XML you want to convert, give it the name so that you can backtrack it in future if you want, and to which entity it belongs. Connect, the second step, it deals majorly about how you get your data from Informatica to TransformX. Analyze, this is the most important phase in our tool where we analyze the XML that is uploaded by the user and give you a report about the complexity, the mappings, the workloads, the workflows, worklets, everything. Once the analysis is done, we let the user design. So by design, what I mean is user can change the schema if they want to in their new system. Transform. So once your analysis is done, you transform your code and convert it to a Databricks equivalent. And once that is done, we validate it and you're ready to go. With this, I would like to move to a demo. So Avi, let me share my screen. Okay. Yeah. Is my screen visible to all?
Yes.
Perfect. So this is a login page for our NuoData. Once we log into NuoData, we can go to our TransformX module, which is our modernization module. We will create a new project, and here we will just call it Informatica to Databricks. You can select the business unit for which XML you want to change. So let's consider as customer engagement here. Asset type. So we don't only do Informatica to Databricks, we do multiple legacy systems. So we do pipelines and different queries. In this case, it is pipelines and workflows because we're talking about Informatica PowerCenter. We work for SSIS and Hadoop as well in pipelines. And for queries, we take care of Hadoop, MS SQL, Sybase, and Oracles. So let's go to PowerCenter. In this case, the source file type will be XML. And the platform here is Databricks Lakehouse. That's the target. And language is PySpark. So this is how you define your project. And when we talk about connect, so we have to put in the XML file. So I have already downloaded one, and I'm going to just push it here. So I have dropped the XML file, which is being uploaded right now. It is called Workflow Scheduled Daily ETL XML. Once my file is uploaded, you can do one file or multiple files at once. For the demo purpose, I'm using one file here. And once it is analyzed, you will see a complete analysis report where it talks about like how many files were uploaded. It has 36 transformations, 7 mappings, and 1 workflows. If a person who has understanding of Informatica XML and PySpark with Databricks, it would take around 67 hours. We have been very considerate in this. Like for an expert, it would take 67 hours to convert it. But with our tool, the automation effort, and this automation effort doesn't talk about just the conversion, it also talk about the validation, testing, and the production rollout. So everything included is 21 hours. Let's see the analysis in detail now. So here you can see your file, and let's go to the detailed analysis. It's the same view, workflows, mappings, and transformations. We also give you a complexity analysis, like how many joiners were there for each transformation. So you have joiner, expression, filters, target definitions, and the effort hours required. We go one more side deep in. So this is your workflow. This is how it will look like in Informatica. We created this workflow on the basis of the XML file which was uploaded. And we are also able to get all the worklets, right? The mappings, everything what you have in your Informatica can be seen here. So if you know how your Informatica workflow was designed with the worklets and mappings, you can see that here. And you can download this report for your use. And this is how this report looks like. Here we talk about the joiners, like the summary, what it is, complexity, the detailed mapping stats for the file, what all mappings are available, how many sessions are there, what is the complexity, everything is available here. This aggregating mapping stat gives you another view where we talk about the mappings and the efforts. And if there are any sequels, which in this case are not, but if there are any sequels used in the XML, they will show up here. A similar report you can generate with our tool, which is NuoData Genie. It's an offline tool which you can request us and we will share it with you. You don't need us to do the analysis. You can do the analysis in your own environment yourself. And it will give you a similar kind of report. Once your analysis is done, you can also check your source DDLs. So we are also able to fetch all the source DDLs and the target DDLs from the XML files. And this gives us the ability to design the result. So once you transform, so it says that conversion percentage, 100%. So in this case, all the workflow worklet mappings were converted. And if we look at the view, so now we have two views here. One is the graph view and another is the transformation SQL view. Let's go to any of the mapping. In the graph view, you see the mapping that we were able to see in the analysis phase. But if we click here, you will be able to see the equivalent Spark SQL code for that particular node in the mapping. You can use that, validate that. Else, if you want to download the complete Databricks notebook file, so it's right here in the transformation SQL, and you can download it from here and use it. That's one way of doing it. And if you want to change, like we talked about the design phase, the schema changing, then you can come here and we'll let you change the column names in case you want to change the column names to something else in the new target. And it is tracked as well. So once you're done, you have designed your changes, your code is transformed. We move to the next phase, which is the validate phase. Here, you can validate it using our notebooks. So we provide the notebooks to validate your data. And when we talk about validation, it means the output table from your source, which is the Informatica, and the output from the code, which is converting Databricks. So we validate the data automatically and generate a report, which right now what you see is a sample report that we did. And it gives you like the column level mismatch summary. There were for employee ID 3, the source value was contractor, but in target was permanent. So we generate the auto validation as well. This will reduce your overall migration time. Once you're done with validation, you're happy and you want to move ahead. So we just check in our code to GitHub. Now let's move to GitHub and see what happens. So once I move to GitHub and refresh, I can see that my just give me a quick second. It should show up here. Yeah. So my Informatica Databricks workflow is here now, and I can check this out to my Databricks. So I'm moving to my Databricks account now. So this is my Databricks account. I'll go to my workspace. And let me just pull it. So I'm going to pull the new changes. So you can see it is so simple to move your Databricks notebooks from TransformX to Databricks without even copying. It's a completely automated process. And I need to refresh it one more time. Right here. And this was the file name which was ingested. So we got all the required folders here. To execute this, we have to update the environment file with the cluster details. So let me just put in the details here. And with this, we have to check this in. Because the Databricks workflow needs, they will push the data at runtime from the GitHub. So we have to push the changes to the Git again. Once your changes are pushed in, and that's it. Nothing else you need to do. So you just have to execute this workflow schedule daily ETL file, and your ETL code is transformed from Informatica to Databricks, and it is being executed as of now. So with this, what we can achieve is quicker migrations from your legacy ETL sources to Databricks. We are providing you with a NuoData Genie tool, which can provide you a report in offline manner. And also, we are providing you with auto validator, so you can validate your data once your code conversion is done. Let me quickly see if it is available here to view. Okay, I think it will take some more time. Okay, we have to give it some more time.
One question from the audience, Vipul, is what all languages do we
Yes.
support as output?
As of today, we are supporting because it is for Databricks, and Databricks support PySpark and Spark SQL. So yes, so Python SQL are the answers here.
Okay.
Okay, so we can see that it is available to view, and to show you the work. So let's go to our transform phase and the view that we created using TransformX for the workflow. So if you see here, we have these three nodes. Let me just, workflow, NuoData preload, NuoData baseload, and calendar date. And the same is created as tasks in Databricks. Preload, baseload, and calendar date. So this is how the complete migration will look like. Over to you, Avi.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you very much.
That was an awesome demo, people.
Hope that did justice to the product and to the whole situation on the
I think
Databricks side, Nikhil.
No, I think it's very impressive. I think it's the end-to-end, showcase, right, from Informatica mapping, analyzing, and then in code conversion and putting in. I think it's really awesome.
All right. And Nikhil, in your view, what concerns or other questions you think your customers might have when they look at this? You think that meets most of their needs?
I think the most of the one of the key questions, right? So code conversion, definitely, Informatica. If you look at, the mappings, they're not one of the easier code conversions, right? It's not like you get out of the box code conversion capabilities as you do with other SQL dialects, right? So code conversion is definitely one thing. Putting it to GitHub. So DevOps angle is covered in that perspective. You're moving it to GitHub, and then workflows are getting set up. And the most important is data validation. Like you're validating from one system to another, and that is where, if you look at it, most of the time is spent, right? People think code conversion is a difficult part, but if you look at data validation, I think it becomes even more tough. How do you validate whether the migration is successfully working on both, is similar working on the Databricks as it was working on Informatica? But I think this end-to-end conversion and covering all the steps is really what I think customers are looking for.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for that feedback. So we get back to the flow of we just have a little bit more to show you, and let's just look at that. So I'm coming back to the screen here after resharing. So you might ask, hey, have you done this before? Is this real in terms of customer deployments? Absolutely, right? We have done it at scale with numerous customers, and one of those case studies here that Nikhil is very aware of, as well as a retailer with 1,000+ PowerCenter mappings, and we dramatically cut down the speed and cost of the conversions to 85% plus automation, 70% faster timeline, and the manual estimate compared to the manual estimate. The manual estimate was huge, and we literally were able to shave off like literally 12 months from this customer's schedule. So it was a dramatically accelerated in migration at scale. I think this is another retailer and we're referring to. But there's retailers, there's financial services companies, there's a number of large environments that we've dealt with this tool. To summarize where we are here, overall, you saw today that the engagement starts with the pre-migration assessment and project kickoff, and with the NuoData Genie, you actually saw the output of our assessment tool. You get that assessment detailed spreadsheet where you see all the mappings and the file by file, you completely see the full report and the effort estimate. You get a full commercial proposal based on that from the Nucleus Tech and NuoData team. You then say thumbs up, and then you go to actually the project beginning, and the first part of the project is we actually bring in your source data into Databricks Delta Lake, and we could use Databricks tooling like DLT, or we could use tooling from our side. NuoData has data movement capability as well. Once we move that data, the ETL logic conversion that Vipul demonstrated gets activated, and the logic conversion is done. You then check it into GitHub and get to Databricks, get it back from GitHub and run the code. So from bronze, all of the code runs and then gets output created in silver and gold, and then you do the validation, and then you're ready for production cutover. That's how the whole process flow is going to happen. With starting from here when you say yes, right? Love to hear from you. Poll 3, please, Kristen. If you don't mind, please just let us know, are you interested in automated migration with NuoData? And if it's a yes for Informatica or Databricks, yes for other sources or destinations, or you might say, no, not yet, right? Those are the 3 options. When you say yes, the first step is that we will provide you an option to download NuoData Genie, which is this tool that brings you the ready-made report of your environment, gives you the clear roadmap of your migration. in association with us. We will support you in that process, and that's how it gets started, right? So you go in with very clear view of what you're getting into. All right. So if you're a yes, thank you for that. 80% of you are positive on this, so that's great. We'll get in touch with you. Please contact us to get started at marketing@nuodata.ai. This is the email that you will send to us if it is an Informatica migration to Databricks, if it's any other sources or destinations, whatever you want to engage with, please send us your request here to that email ID. Okay. So with that, we can actually take questions for a few minutes. In case some of you have questions, please feel free to chime in, and then we can take questions for some time and then stop the webinar. Looks like we've answered a bunch of questions already in live format, so we are good to go. And thank you very much for your time, Nikhil. Thanks a lot for joining us.
Yeah,
really appreciate it.
Thanks
and
everyone.
look forward to engaging with all of you, and Nikhil with your customers as well on the Databricks side. Okay.
Looking forward to working with you, AV and team.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Everyone.
Bye.